Hey everybody, welcome. We are back for another build video. Mike is here and he's got something a little different. That's Mike's thing lately. He's been doing a little different last time and doing a little different this time. So, Mike, why don't you give us a quick introduction to what you have in mind today? I don't know much about it. So what's the secret? What are we doing?
All right. So the beautiful thing about Pathfinder 2e is the breadth and depth and just the vast variety of things you can do with character concepts and stuff like that. And a good friend of mine challenged me. She wanted to be a berry, a blueberry.
A blueberry,
Blueberry.
like strawberry shortcake berry, kind of like.
Yeah, she was doing this thing. She was going to play D&D, and I'm like, well, I could do up this character concept. It's a different system, but it's kind of cool just to show you what you can do with this stuff. And she's okay. So I came up with the Blueberrian.
The Blueberrian?
The Blueberrian. This is Sarai, the Blueberrian.
All right.
So, yeah.
So you're saying, so tell me a little bit about what a Blueberrian is.
So to play a fruit, you need to play a Leshy because they're a plant-based ancestry, right?
Okay.
And there is a fruit-bearing Leshy, one of the heritages, right? So that's what I went with, and it just kind of flowed into the Blueberrian because it's a blueberry, right? And Barbarian just kind of flowed.
Okay, so you're wait, so let me.
Fun.
So this
and
is
it's also simple for a beginner person to play.
Yeah, and if you this sounds like a girlfriend build, like a good build for that girlfriend who wants to show up and play. Not that I have any problem with girls playing, but what I mean is like the I had this with my wife when we started playing before we were married. She wanted to play D&D and stuff with us, but she really didn't know the rules, and she wanted to sit at the table and have a good time. But she was just like, I just want to go and do that, Yep. And we had a good time. She had a fantastic time. So this sounds to me like a perfect, build for someone like that. Maybe we'll see. I don't know why. I have no idea what this is. So we're going to find out.
Yes.
All right.
So to start out with was the Leshy, right? And so in the canon, Leshies are immortal nature spirits placed in the small plant bodies seeking to experience the world. They're small. They only start out with 8 hit points. Their ability boosts and flaws are Constitution, Wisdom, and the free one. They have a flaw to intelligence, so they're not all that learned, which kind of makes sense. It's a plant.
Okay.
But yeah, things about them, their special abilities. They have low light vision, which means you can see in dim light as though it were bright light, ignore the concealed condition in dim light. They have plant nourishment. You gain nourishment in the same way that plants or fungi do that match your body type. Through some combination of photosynthesis, absorbing minerals with your roots, scavenging decaying matter, etc. You typically do not need to pay for food. If you normally rely on photosynthesis and go without sunlight for a week, you begin to starve. You can derive nourishment from specially formulated bottles of sunlight instead of natural sunlight, but those 10 times the cost of normal rations. So just something to consider, if you're going to play a Leshy, right? This kind of thing, but it's kind of cool. You don't have to eat.
Yeah. Or maybe you can get like a tanning bed or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder what level is a tanning bed. I wonder.
Right. Let's see. Level 10 artifact.
Yeah. It's my Apex item is a tanning bed. Yeah. All right. A tanning bed on wheels. You're just like always in light. All right. So cool. Right. So this is interesting so far. I wasn't expecting something like this, but we're going to go with it.
Sure.
I want you to sell me on this thing.
All right. For the background, I chose Nomad because it makes sense for kind of a barbarian and a plant to be kind of a nomadic kind of creature.
Well, don't plants always just like stay where they're at? Every plant I have just sits where it's at.
Well, yeah, but this one can move.
Okay. Well, that's fair. Yeah, it's fair.
You travel far and wide. You pick up basic tactics for surviving on the road and in unknown lands, getting by with few supplies and even fewer comforts. As an adventurer, you travel still often into even more dangerous places. You choose two attributes there, Constitution and Wisdom. The other one's a free one. You're trained in the survival skill and a lore skill related to the terrain you've traveled, which I chose Forest for Sarai. And
Can I choose backyard?
backyard. Garden. You gain the assurance with the survival feat.
Oh, that's actually pretty good for tracking and whatnot.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I feel like when we play. Maybe it's just the type of characters we've played and the type of games we played, but we don't really use survival as much as I thought it would be used.
Well, we don't spend a whole lot of time tracking and like traveling, right?
Yeah.
We pretty much stay in a town, and it's like we go 4 hours out. You don't really need survival to be I can walk for 4 hours.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, we'll make it uphill both ways.
there you go, in the snow in July.
Yeah. All right. So
The class is obviously Barbarian. Barbarians are a really fun class. Obviously a martial, big old bonk, right? And speaking of big old bonk, I did go with the giant instinct Barbarian. The kind of thought process is she uses a big club, which is just a big branch that lays next to her, right? One of her things, which we'll go into later. So basically,
is it her dead friend that she's taking on the adventure with her to get revenge?
Yeah, you killed her.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she has a giant, great club. So it's kind of, imagine this little bush pick up a big branch and come chasing after you. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, that's kind of neat. So far, I'm keep going. We're gonna see if you can sell me on this one.
All right. The hit points, you get 12 plus your con, obviously.
Yeah.
So they're beefy. Saving throws, expert in fortitude, trained in reflex, expert in will, trained in athletics, and trained in a number of additional skills equal to your 3 plus your intelligence modifier, which is -1. So not a very skillful party member.
No. I mean, most fruit aren't.
No. But because she's a fruit leshy, dip into her heritage a little bit, your body produces continually small fruits imbued with primal magic. At the dawn of each day, a new fruit ripens. You or an ally can remove this fruit as an interact action. If a living creature that can derive sustenance from fruit consumes it as an interact action within the next hour, they regain 1d8 hit points plus an additional 1d8 for every 2 of your levels beyond first. This has the healing and vitality traits.
So you eat her and you get strength. This is a not safe for work fruit.
I know, right?
I'm getting more interested now.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's the fruit leshy. This is the big old blueberries.
He's popping off the hey Joan, can I have a big piece of that?
Yeah.
Okay, but the fruit leshy itself does not need to eat. It just needs to get sunlight, so that it has no use for its fruit.
Right.
Nice.
Exactly. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah. It's a little weird, but yeah.
Well, yeah.
Right. I will say Pathfinder has some more interesting backgrounds. They just kind of reach a little bit, which I appreciate. You know what I mean? They give you a lot of craziness. So,
well, yeah, the leshies can be kind of out there. If you've watched our normal play, the Leshy village was
they were crazy.
Yeah.
They were
different.
They were very much
completely different.
Yeah. I played them very kind of free.
Hippie.
Yeah, hippie would be a good word for them, sure. All right. So
for the ability boosts, obviously chose strength because it's a barbarian. Got the constitution, the wisdom, negative to intelligence. Background boosts, I chose constitution because they just want to be as beefy as possible. And obviously strength, the class boosts. And the free boosts are going to be strength, con, whiz, and dex. Ignoring intelligence and charisma because those just aren't part of the Blueberrian.
That's all right. That's all right.
However,
obviously the face of the party.
Yeah. So not a whole lot of skills. I chose athletics, stealth, and survival. for training kind of
All right.
matches. Yeah, not a whole lot there.
Well,
It's not like a rogue build.
No, but
45 skills. So the heritage we already talked about was the fruit leshy. The ancestry feat, I chose harmlessly cute.
why am I not surprised?
Your size and demeanor make it easy for you to convince others that you mean no harm. You gain the shameless request skill feat as a bonus feat. Additionally, you gain a +1 circumstance bonus to initiative checks when you roll deception for initiative. Not that that's kind of a thing we're building on here, but it was kind of how can you not go with harmlessly cute as your thing? It's a harmlessly cute barbarian. All right. I'm
just thinking of the big sad eyes looking up at you, and then just boom,
then grabbing this giant log
and just screaming. Ah! All right, this build might be something fun. Let's keep going.
All right, the class feat I chose for first level is sudden charge. So imagine this little thing. You're like looking at this thing across the clearing, and then. Oh, it's just a little, what is this little bush? There's little berries on it. All of a sudden, it just charges you, screaming with a giant stick.
What's his movement? 35 feet? Yeah, we'll get to that. Feet. Yeah, there are obviously more to this thing than just regular movement. We'll save that for later, but 35 feet on a sudden charge, they can cross pretty much most maps and get there.
Yep, that's all right. 70 feet. Plus, when they're raging, they'll get more. So I chose Giant Instinct for her, just so she has that big old stick.
Okay.
So the image was just great. Not only that, but really
so she's a little small creature, but she has a giant instinct.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I like the opposing forces at play here.
Exactly.
All right. So tell me about this giant instinct. I really don't know that much about barbarians. I've been game mastered like 3 of them. And I just know about what they've chose. That's about it.
So part of the barbarian thing is you choose an instinct. You have like animal, dragon, fury, spirit, superstition, and giant. Your rage gives you the raw power and size of a giant. This doesn't necessarily mean you revere giants. You might scoff at them or even aspire to slay them. You could instead seem like a giant to other people due to your exceptional strength or larger than life emotions and ego. The instinct ability, you gain Titan Mauler. You can use a weapon built for a large creature if you are a small or medium, both normally and when raging. If you are not a small or medium creature, you can use a weapon built for a creature one size larger than you. So if you are a large creature, you could use a huge weapon. So
they as a giant instinct, they can use a large weapon with like 2 hands, and they can get reach with that weapon if it's a weapon they can.
It has a reach, yeah.
Okay,
yeah. The club doesn't, but it could.
Okay.
You start with one such weapon, which you receive for free, which is nice. It must be a common melee or ranged weapon. And it must have a price of 9 gold pieces or less, not including the price adjustment for being a larger weapon. So yeah, if you buy a larger weapon in the future, they are typically more expensive than your standard.
So you always want to take the large weapon to start with here because you're going to get it for free. Yeah, so it's pretty good.
You're going to go large, two-handed sword or something.
You're going to have a lot of gold in this because you get that for free, and you're probably not heavily invested in armor per se.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll get into that, but I'm curious. Keep going.
And it must be common, or you must otherwise have access to it. It is your personal weapon and has no value if sold unless you later add runes to it, and has the normal bulk for a weapon of its size. When wielding a larger weapon in combat, increase your additional damage from rage from 2 to 6, but you have clumsy 1 condition because of the weapon's unwieldy size.
This is very anime. You see where they have like the sword that is
just
like
massive.
This
or Final Fantasy.
Oh, very Cloud, Final Fantasy. Yeah,
the Cloud or Sephiroth's giant sword.
Yeah, this is giving me very very Final Fantasy vibes here.
Yep, exactly. You can't remove this clumsy condition or ignore its penalties by any means while wielding this weapon. Specialization ability, increase the damage from rage when using this weapon from 6 to 10.
That's at 7th level?
At 7th level.
Yeah.
So yeah, you add 10 bonus damage to every strike. So you're hitting hard.
And that bonus damage is doubled on critical. It's just like another damage.
Like
that's
damage.
Yeah. And I don't know how much of a crit fisher as much as fighters are, but because fighters have that +2, so they're definitely crit fishing. But getting something that you can make sure you can just get some crits with, get that additional 10 doubled up to 20, that goes a long way at 7th level. The monsters their hit point pool is pretty big. So
you hitting for 20
additional damage.
Additional.
Yeah.
Plus your runes and all that stuff. If you have greater weapon specialization, increase it from 10 to 18. So yeah, it's really nice. Raging resistance, you resist bludgeoning damage and your choice of cold, electricity, or fire chosen when you gain raging resistance. That's at 9th level. So as far as level 1 goes, you get the low light vision, which talked about. Quick tempered, when you roll initiative as the trigger, you are not encumbered or wearing heavy armor. So long as you are able to move freely, your fury is instinctive and instantaneous. You rage. So as a free action, you can rage when you roll initiative. So a little action economy compression there.
Yeah, and let's take a quick look at rage for everybody. So if we look at rage, tell me a little bit, because there are a few limitations. Like you can't be tired, you can't be fatigued, right?
Yeah. Requirements for raging. You're not fatigued or raging. You tap into your inner fury and begin raging. You gain a number of temporary hit points equal to your level plus your con. While you are raging, you deal 2 additional damage on melee strikes. Of course, for us, it's 6. You gain a number of temporary hit points equal to your level. Oh, we did that. You gain 2 additional damage. This additional damage is halved if your weapon or unarmed attack is agile.
Okay, yeah. You're not gonna rage with a rapier.
No, not well.
Yeah, I kind of picture like they take the weapon and you're literally just slapping you in the head with it versus
poke. You can't use actions with the concentrate trait unless they also have the rage trait. You can seek while raging. Rage lasts for 1 minute or until you fall unconscious or until the encounter ends, whichever comes first. You can't voluntarily stop raging. When you stop raging, you lose any remaining temporary hit points from rage and can't gain temporary hit points from using the rage again for another minute.
So that came into play with us before, because we've had that Barbarian in our live play where they were raging and they dropped, and then when they came back they could rage again, but they don't get any more additional temporary hit points. They're just they can just like reignite it, and it's not a free action at that point, because it's only a free action when you roll initiative. Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah. So if you get dropped, which is one of the much different than 5e, if you want to keep your hit points as high as possible, because you don't want to going unconscious is kind of a pain.
Oh yeah, it's taxing to get dropped.
Yeah.
Unlike D&D where you're up and
you have 1 hit point, your life is great. You have no hit points, your life is not great. Okay, keep going. This is cool. So I'm learning a little bit more about the Barbarian more now.
So the free feats you get from your background and from Ancestry, that assurance, which means you can forego rolling a skill check and just take a 10 plus your proficiency bonus. You don't apply any other bonuses. That's kind of nice for survival, better for medicine, but it's not too bad for survival. You can select a feat multiple times and you get it for a different skill. And Shameless Request requires Master in Diplomacy, which you don't have to because of your trait. You can downplay the consequences or outrageousness of your request using sheer brazenness and charm. When you request something, you can reduce any DC by making an outrageous request by 2. And if you roll a critical failure, your request, you get a failure instead.
Okay, so that's a good one. You kind of bump it up. So you can basically soft charm your way into making some request.
Some crazy ass request. Which I don't know for fruit Leshy. I don't know what kind of request that would be, but she could make it if she wanted. Yeah. So that's level 1. That's the basic starting point. Level 2 for class feat, I chose Intimidating Strike. And I love this one. It's a 2 action. Your blow not only wounds creatures, but also shatters their confidence. Make a melee strike. If you hit, you deal damage. Your target is frightened. No save. It's just automatic. And frightened 2 on a crit. So that's really nice. Don't have to worry about that intimidation check. So I really like Intimidating Strike.
Yeah, if you're gonna, I'm just a little advice for anybody who's new to Pathfinder. When you start making your characters, try to diversify what special things people do. Because if you can keep somebody at frightened 1, that's awesome. But then somebody else can't also make them frightened 2. They have to, So having the ability to diversify what you can do is very important. But having this strike where you can just come down and hit them and having the strike where they can come down and just hit them and just be frightened 1 or frightened 2, especially right at the beginning of the round, right at the beginning when everyone's sort of piling on or doing whatever. That's great. Yeah,
sudden charge. This tiny little thing comes up and hits you. You're like, I'm freaking out. It's the whole flow of the thing is kind of amusing to me.
Yeah. Sudden charge being 2 actions and this strike being 2 actions. So I got to put my glasses on so I can read. So you can run up and just slam into them. So yeah, very cool.
So for the skill feat, I chose Titan Wrestler because such a high athletic score. It's good to have that skill for grappling and stuff. You can run up, hit, grapple, and then they're off guard to anybody else around. Grappling is really good in Pathfinder 2.
Well, in a way it is. The only thing I don't like is when you have a two-handed weapon and you have to take your hand off to grapple them. If you want to use it, you have to take an action to put your grip back on, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's useful, I think, in certain situations, but you have to just be cautious that action economy. Now, the thing about barbarians and fighters is they don't often have, unless they want to move around, a lot of versatile uses for that third action. So it's probably not going to be a big deal, but just keep that in mind, right? Yep. Like you're going to have to move it on. So you can go with your 2, run up and strike them on like a sudden charge. And then you can take your hand up and grab them. Mm-hmm. But now you're sort of, the next round comes around, you're sort of hitting you have a 2-handed weapon in one hand that you can't use and you're grabbing them. What do you might have to let go and go at him.
And then use your Intimidating Strike.
Yeah. But that would be all 3 actions, right? You should let go and grab your weapon, and Intimidating Strike is a 2-action strike, and that would be it for the round. Not exactly a bad thing, but just something to keep in mind before as you're planning forward.
But so Titan Wrestler allows you to grapple a creature up to 2 sizes larger than you, or up to 3 sizes larger if you're legendary. And for a small creature, it's kind of useful. They can go up to like an ogre or something and grapple an ogre, which is just kind of a funny kind of mental visual image of this little
the nice thing about
grappling an ogre.
I mean, even still, because you're a small character, you're going to encounter characters that are 2 sizes larger than you more often. Whereas, like if you're a medium character, I think you can grapple. Can you grapple a large character? It's larger, smaller, or it has to be your size or smaller? Typical grappling.
Typical grappling, you can go up 1.
Right. So it's going to be, especially at the lower levels, more than likely, not very often you're going to have a huge creature. But as a small creature, you're going to get large creatures within by 4th, 5th level. You're going to start seeing them very, depending on your game.
Yep.
All right.
So that's why I kind of went with that. So level 3, we get our first skill increase, which I went with athletics.
All right.
To kind of, that's kind of the theme.
Yeah. So you now are officially an expert.
Mm-hmm. And then I chose Incredible Initiative because it's always good to go first. Incredible Initiative, you gain +2 circumstance bonus on your initiative rolls, which is really nice. We get Furious Footfall. The urge to fight drives you ever forward. You gain a +5 status bonus to your speed. This increases to 10 feet while you're raging. So this is where that 35 comes in.
Yeah, for sure.
Raging.
For sure. So you start at 25 and now you're at 30 right now?
30 and then 35 when you're raging.
Got it.
So yeah, so a little faster. It's nice. At level 4, we're just going to swipe, excuse me. Swipe, you make a wide arcing swing, make a single melee strike. Compare that attack roll with the result of the ACs of up to 2 enemies, each of whom must be within your melee reach and adjacent to each other. Roll damage only once and apply it to each creature you hit. A swipe counts as 2 attacks for your multiple attack penalty. If you're using a weapon with the sweep trait, its modifier applies to all your swipe attacks.
Yeah, that would be really nice to have something with the sweep trait. Does the club have the sweep trait? I don't know if it does or not.
I don't think so.
It did. Normally, that's going to be, I believe, something like a geese arm or something like that, or something like a wide arc,
long arc,
maybe a scimitar. If I am just guessing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty cool. So basically, what this gives you is for 2 actions, you get 2 non-mapped strikes. It's a flourish. It's cool. It just allows you to get 2 strikes. Now, of course, your next strike is going to be at -10, but if you're gonna have to run up 10 feet, you can still hit both creatures if they're within your reach at that point. You were at that point, and that's not bad. That's not bad.
Yep. Little action economy. A little also kind of like an AOE almost.
Kind of, yeah.
Where you get 2, and then at full map.
Yeah, that's the important part right there is full map. All right.
And then powerful leap, going off that really high athletic score.
Sure.
You jump 5 feet with a vertical leap without making a high jump. That's really good. Was running a thing where they were trying to get up onto a ledge and no one could make because it's hard. It's kind of a hard DC to jump up that high.
Yeah.
So you can with this. It's kind of good. You can also increase the horizontal distance when you leap by 5 feet. So just jumping. But
that's pretty cool because having that bigger gap, sometimes you just got to jump over stuff. So that's pretty nice.
So that was level 4. Level 5, always a big one. We use incremental ability boosts, but in general, ability boosts I chose. First stage of our upgrade to strength, and then con, wisdom, and dex again, just to keep kind of going with that.
Absolutely.
Skill increase. I chose acrobatics. I chose to get trained in acrobatics because acrobatics is pretty good. And now that we have a fairly decent modifier to our dex now, or +2, it kind of helps with that. It also is going to lend itself to a feat we're going to take a little further on. That's kind of fun.
Okay. I'm looking forward to this. So, I mean, I think at the beginning that was kind of cool with the Leshy and everything else, but I'm hoping that there's going to be a little bit more cool stuff coming in because this is very much simply more like a barbarian build after this. So I'm hoping to getting some odds and ends when we get to like the into the ancestry feats and that kind of stuff.
Well, we do have an ancestry feat here at 5.
Oh, look at me! I'm basically looking into the future.
All right, I chose ritual reversion. So Leshy.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah,
I don't play a lot of Leshies.
So you can temporarily revert to a less conspicuous,
Oh, yes.
form without diminishing your senses. You take the form of an ordinary specimen of the type of plant or fungus that most closely resembles you. So a blueberry bush.
Yeah, that's great. So you become a blueberry bush and the monster eats you. I know. Like, look at this. I can't find them, but I find a bunch of blueberries here.
Reverting to your body's appearance just before your spirit joined with it. This otherwise has the effects of one with plants, except that your size remains small.
Okay, yeah, it's a 2-action kind of hide. Now, how does it really affect your hiding? I mean, as far as can they detect you? I guess you're just a plant at that point.
Yeah, you're just a bush, right, with a big log laying next to you.
Yeah, I mean, you're not hiding. You're just sort of.
You're just a bush.
Yeah.
right? So, you know, I don't. You're our DM. How would you interpret that? I think one with plants is a probably a druid thing. It doesn't kind of go into
Well,
that.
it's got the polymorph trait,
Mhm.
and it's primal. So what's the polymorph trait say?
These effects transform the target into a new form. A target can't be under the effect of more than one polymorph at a time. If it comes under the effect of a second polymorph, okay, blah, blah, blah. If it succeeds, it takes the effect. And if it fails, the spell has no effect on the target. Any strikes specifically granted by a polymorph effect are magical unless otherwise stated. Polymorph spells don't allow the target to take on the appearance of a specific individual creature, but blah, yeah, blah, blah,
So you can't
blah.
be a specific bush. You have to be a general
A
bush.
generic bush. Yes. If you take on the battle form, there's no battle form with a bush.
The battle bush.
That's basically what you are.
Yeah.
Otherwise noted, the battle form prevents you from casting spells, speaking, blah, blah, blah. Your gear is absorbed with you. So, like if you were wearing armor or something, you would absorb it and you would just,
Yeah.
you would. I think as a DM, I would be like, okay, yeah, you are. I would give the DC to notice that there's something odd about this bush.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, it's a tricky one because being polymorphed, you're not like deceiving anyone. It's not going to like an illusion. You are the bush.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, I guess you maybe make a survival roll, maybe, or a nature roll or something to determine if this is the same. Because I think if somebody running into say they're chasing you, they don't know the terrain, and they come around the corner and they see this bush kind of shoved up against the rock.
Out of place for a.
Yeah, maybe. I guess. Yeah, it'll be
like,
interesting.
If you're running across a field and then there's this random blueberry bush just sitting in the middle of the field, you're like, what? But with a giant stick next to it.
Yeah. Well, your weapon turns into it.
That's true. It does absorb with it.
Yeah, all your weapons and stuff. So I think if you're going to go this route, I think it's really cool, but I highly recommend you kind of come to some agreement. And this is at level 5 that this comes in, so right? Like, don't wait until level 5 to talk to your game master and kind of make some understanding of what this means. Or let me know below if it means something that we're not interpreting correctly. I would think, I feel as a game master, I wouldn't make this automatically get out of jail free card. I run around the corner and you automatically can't be seen and nobody, you know what I mean? At the same time, I also don't want to diminish it so it has no effect. Like, oh, there's a bush. Oh, that's obviously the bush. Start attacking the bush. So
I was more thinking of it like when you're camping or you're traveling or whatever, when you're resting at night, you can just turn into this bush, right? And at that point, an animal going by, unless it's a herbivore, you're like, oh shit. But I mean,
yeah, it's the lovely, cute giraffe who's eating my ear.
Who's eating my berries.
Yeah. I think, like I said, I think it's a cool idea. I think if you're going to do this, I would just make sure you speak to your game master and kind of get an understanding of what. Because the last thing what I find is that game masters either take something too far or they make it too easy to ignore. Yeah. And so what you don't want to have is something like this where all you need to do is turn into a bush and nobody can ever find you. You are a bush and nobody can ever interpret what it is. And at the same time, you don't want to be like, I turn into a bush, but everyone sees me as a bush. I think that would be not fun. It would take away all of the fun of the game, right?
Also, brutality is something else. This is just part of the barbarian kit. Okay. Your fury makes your weapons lethal. Your proficiency ranks for simple weapons and martial weapons and unarmed attacks increases to expert. So you have a bump to things. While raging, you have the critical specialization benefits for melee weapons and unarmed attacks. So
you're going to get that. You're going to get that additional +2 bump on that to get all your So kind of separates the men from the boys, the women from the girls, the strawberries from the blueberries.
Yeah. So level 6, reactive strike. It's too nice to have not to, if you get it, Man, reactive strike is nice. And since it isn't like D&D where you automatic, like everybody has it, it's nice to have when you can.
Yeah, I think especially if you can do a lot of damage as a if I was like if I was just like a druid or something, I might not bother because my melee weapons in general are probably, unless I got built specifically for that, are not going to be necessarily something I don't want to try to get that. But this, because you have a two-handed weapon and you're running up and you're probably intimidating people with intimidating strikes, you're going to try to make them flee and get that extra attack when they're running away. That's not too bad. Or when they're trying to cast a spell at you, which is very important. Oh, yeah. And though you might not be critting as much as a fighter, you're going to definitely get your share of crits. And somebody casting a spell at you crit them, it's done.
Yeah, and that reactive strike is non-mapped, right?
Right. I mean, that's very important.
Yeah, that's nice. So yeah, I went with that. Slippery Prey. It's a good feat. You escape your bonds more easily. I've been noticing a lot of creatures that have grapple. Goddamn alligators.
Yeah, in the Dragon's Demand game that we're playing right now, Mike's character had an encounter with a crocodile. It was fun.
And frog people things.
Yep. So
yeah, Slippery Prey was like, yeah, I want that. It's nice to have.
So give us the rundown of what Slippery Prey is.
You're able to escape bonds more easily. When you attempt to escape using acrobatic or athletics, you reduce the multiple attack penalty for repeated attempts to -4, -8. If you're trained in the skill, the penalty becomes 3 and -6 when you're a master in the appropriate skill. And if you're legendary in the skill, you don't take any penalties for multiple escape attempts. It's full.
You can just try it 3 times in a row, although hopefully you don't have to take you 3 times to escape. But yeah.
Regardless of your training, your attempts still have the attack trait and incur multiple attack penalties with any other actions. So if you do manage to get out your attack.
So that's good to know. So it doesn't, if you're legendary, which we're not taking our build up that high, but if you say you had haste cast on you, you could do 3 times checking for your escape, and then still have like you could strike or stride. That strike you're going to do is going to be at -10, even though the other 3 were not. Yeah.
Yep.
But I do like Slippery Prey because there is a lot of creatures that grapple, a lot of creatures that do things that stop your movement. And if you are restrained, it's a real pain.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, that's why I went with that one. I like it.
Especially if you're, especially as a spellcaster, you're taking flat checks just to cast spells and all kinds of stuff. And that's your whole repertoire.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. One of the reasons that you want to have your distance as a spellcaster from melee strikers like this is because they have a lot of advantages when they're within 5 or 10 feet of you.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was level 6. Level 7, skill increase. I went athletics, going up to master, because that's kind of what we're doing when we're not striking, is we're tripping or pushing or shoving or grappling.
Yeah, and always think about this is that having one pushed up the master early, one skill early, and trying to make it something that's useful. If you want to use it to gain revenue in your off time, if you want to try to do that, you can use athletics for all kinds of things. Plus, athletics is just generally very good for a lot of physical things. So.
Yep. The general feat I chose was Fleet.
So wait, this is level 7 now? Yep. Keep going.
They are fast because of the Barbarian, thing earlier.
Yeah.
What's it called? Furious Footfalls.
Yeah.
Just a little more speed because it's good to get, it's good for your striker to be up there, to get up there close and personal.
Yeah. I think, I did a thing on this channel about having big groups, and with big groups come big maps. And I think in that case, and I think there's a little bit of a bias for our group because we play with 6 players. So our maps tend to be bigger. We have a lot more room. So I think in that case, having Fleet is bigger, but choose Fleet, kind of test as a player. I would try to know what the game master's doing.
Yeah.
The game master has all the combats within a relatively small area.
Fleet doesn't really do much for you.
Yeah, if you're, I noticed if you use a lot of APs, there are a lot of maps that have some bigger areas that they use. I actually don't know what the lower levels of Abomination Bolts is like, but a lot of other APs, they have
They're pretty big. The maps are.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of them that the maps stretch quite a distance, and you may need 2 movements or maybe even sometimes 3 movements to get to a place. I've been into places where you're running around corners. You have basically almost 2 rounds if you're going to get to somebody, depending on how you get there. Having that extra fleet is good. Just tend to test your game master and decide if you're using huge maps or not. Because I sometimes, just fleet is really used a lot, and I like to always try to think about, do I need it? Because that 5 feet's good, but you're already getting 30. We're already getting 35, right?
Yeah, and by level 7, though, you should be really knowing your GM's play style and your party's play style and stuff like that. So also at level 7, you get some Barbarian kit stuff.
Okay.
You get Giant Instinct specialization ability. Increase the damage from the rage when you using that larger weapon from 6 to 10. This is we talked about that
with the rage. Yeah.
You get a little more. Juggernaut. Your body's accustomed to the physical hardship and resistance to ailments. Your proficiency rank in Fortitude goes up. When you make a success on your Fortitude, you get a critical instead. That's nice. And you get your weapon specialization traits.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Which is nice.
Now, what is the weapon specialization trait for a club?
A club, I think it's knocking prone. I think.
Well, go ahead and look and tell me what it is.
The Great Club has backswing for instead of sweep.
Yeah.
Which is nice. It has the shove.
Shove, so you can shove with it, and you can use backswing. So shove is very good. Yeah, for sure. So you have a large Great Club because you're bigger than them, but you also get backswing, shove, and large. Go ahead. Perfect.
All right, that was level 7. Level 8. I love this one. This is part of the Giant Instinct kit.
Okay.
One of their feats.
This is your class feat.
Yep.
Go ahead.
You grow to incredible size. You become large, increasing your reach by 5 feet and gaining the clumsy 1 condition until you stop raging. Your equipment grows with you. So even if you're small, you grow to a large size and you get the reach. So
that's a big berry.
I know, right? It's this little tiny bush, and then all of a sudden, my thought of it was Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. Go kaiju, and it goes and grows huge. That's what I picture. Let's see, that was, and then for the feat, I chose quick climb. Climbing is good. You gain 5 more feet on a success and 10 more feet on a critical success when you're climbing up to your speed. If you're legendary in athletics, you gain a climb speed equal to your speed, which
here's the thing.
This character would get to a legendary in athletics, so it's useful to have climbing.
So, the nice thing about this, from those of you who are not play Pathfinder, climbing speeds on a turn-by-turn basis are generally very slow, even when you have a lot of benefits in other ways. So having when you're climbing, you move 5 more feet on a successful climb, and 10 more on a critical success is huge. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. And then level 9, we get our skill increase. I chose acrobatics up to expert, and we'll find out why next level.
All right, this is like a little drama. Should we end it now? And the next episode, you get to finish it like a cliffhanger.
No. For the Ancestry feat, I chose Solar Rejuvenation.
All right, now this sounds cool. This almost has like a Starfinder kind of a feel to it. And I got the Starfinder. We're kind of talking about Starfinder coming up for a future game here. So tell me a little more about this Solar Rejuvenation.
If you rest outdoors for 10 minutes during the day, you regain hit points equal to your con modifier times half your level. You gain this benefit in addition to any other healing from pre-wounds. Leshies whose plant nourishment does not rely on photosynthesis require a similarly suitable environment. For example, fungus leshies need to dark, damp environments and a pile of decaying plant matter. So it's healing. It's just a way to.
How often can you do this?
10 minutes. If you rest for 10 minutes, you gain your con times your level. Level 9 Barbarian kit. Giant instinct raging resistance. This is when you get that choice of your resistance when you're raging.
Yeah, once you choose though, it's during the duration of the rage. That's just what you get for that time.
Yeah, bludgeoning plus cold, electricity, or fire. Not bad.
No, that's very good.
Let's see. Repeated exposure and toughened skin allows you to fend off harm.
This is raging resistance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Get your 3 plus your con modifier to damage. That's pretty good, actually. At this point, that's 6 off of every attack, at least bludgeoning. Reflex expertise, you get.
Well, your Constitution modifier at this level is probably going to be 4, right? So it's
it is +4.
Yeah, so I'm just guessing.
Yeah,
and so you're
7.
going to have that's going to be 7. So you get that's not too bad after off of every tick every time I hit you.
As long as they're bludgeoning.
Or
fire or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, the second one is better because you can choose cold, electricity, or fire, and that's a lot more useful. Bludgeoning depends on
what you're fighting.
Yeah.
I think a lot of creatures. Well, I think slashing is actually.
There's a piercing is pretty popular too. But I think,
stuff.
I don't know,
Claws.
there's a lot of creatures that kind of like try to beat you with their fists or.
A lot of undead.
But piercing is because a lot of biting is piercing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So.
Then claws have that slashing. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I kind of feel maybe it just kind of depends on the luck of the draw, what your game master is giving you to face against them when it comes to melee creatures. What do you get?
Reflex expertise, you get you rank up to expert on reflex, which is nice.
And then here comes the final one, the final level. All right.
The ability boosts, we get our second bump up to reflex, up to strength. I took my first tick up in con and then wisdom +4. It's nice. And then dex. So have all the saves covered with that as far as boosting those as much as possible. So like that. So this is the fun one that I was talking about.
Okay. So this is level. So now obviously you can go to level 20, but we're going to take these to level 10 just to get a good, otherwise the video starts getting long.
4 hours.
And I kind of feel like once you played your character up to level 10, you kind of know the path you want to take, and you're going to be very, hopefully, unique to yourself.
Exactly. But I chose impressive landing.
Is this a hero's landing?
It is. I just imagine this giant, right? You've grown to your giant size, and then you jump off a cliff or whatever, you come flying down, and you slam into the ground, shattering it around you. You treat the fall as 10 feet shorter. You land on your feet. The ground in a 5-foot emanation becomes difficult terrain. Any creature in the emanation takes 5 bludgeoning damage as the debris hits you and is off guard until the start of its next turn.
I'm just picturing Deadpool standing next to me every time somebody uses this because his commentary at that point becomes awesome.
Yep. But yeah, that just sounds so fun.
It is.
It's just like I said, this is a goofy, fun, this giant screaming blueberry running at you, slamming you with a big stick. It's just a lot of fun. And then for the feat, I chose Catfall.
So yeah, because you can impressively land from very far away, right?
And not take any damage.
Yeah, because your Catfall changes based on your acrobatics skill, yeah,
which we are expert at right now.
Okay,
so
I mean, not the greatest, but better than not having it.
Well, yeah, expert, you treat the falls as 25 feet shorter. Well, and with that, you treat it as 35 feet shorter. So you can take a 35-foot fall and take no damage and land on your feet.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yep.
And not, well, you don't land on your feet. You have to land kind of on your hand and your feet,
Yep,
and you
yep.
have to look down,
And
you
then
have to,
whip your hair
you have
back
to
and forth.
look up at the enemy. Yeah, yeah. You got to fall in with style. So that's the first 10 levels. So that's pretty awesome. I'm be interested to kind of take a look at some of your options for what would you do after 10th level. Let us know. Didn't think about playing a Leshy Barbarian. It might be kind of fun, but it was cool to see how they're put together. So the build will be in the link below, where we put a bucket where we put all the stuff where you can download from every gaming talk. Other than that, that's gonna be our first run through a Barbarian build. All right, so that'll do it for us. So have a great day, and we'll catch you next time. Until then, watch our live plays if you want to be entertained or want to see a Leshy Barbarian in action.
He is amazing.
It's pretty fun.
He's fun.
All right, have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.